This is we're doing pretty good so far for Skype. I mean,
Hello and welcome to the Quackcast. This is Quackcast number 308. I'm Ozone Ocean, and with me is a very special guest, Hyena Hell.
Hey y'all.
Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome back, Hyena Hell. After so many years, my God, we finally found you. A Dog the Bounty Hunter found you. Dragged you.
So it's like the Odyssey. I've returned to,
Yes,
I don't know, kill
find your
all
house
the
in
steers.
shambles. Yeah.
exactly.
There's some arrows somewhere. Somebody's in a corner weaving.
You and Telemachus are going to go badass on everybody at Drunk Duck. Slaughter. So,
I don't know.
Metaphorically, of course, not
metaphor.
really. Yeah.
We have Mr. Baines with us. Mr. Baines, the
Hello.
funny man.
Hello.
Ms. Tanserine, the genius, intellectual, and Ms. Pitface, the just demon, the devil, the intelligent archaeologist lady with us
Thank you.
all together. So we're going to be talking about a Hyena Hell's return and new duties as doing sort of admin-y kind of like a news blogging on the front page on Fridays, because Hippie Van has stopped doing it, and now we have Hyena Hell doing it. So that will be just fantastic. But first, before we get into that, we've got to do the featured comic, which is Fatal Lullaby. So, Fatal Lullaby, I'll stick the recording in now. Hello, I'm Ozone Ocean, and my feature for the week was Fatal Lullaby. I've been waiting to feature this comic for a long time, but its update schedule has been very slow and sporadic. But finally, I've been able to do a feature for it. It has enough pages. So I describe this comic as being short stories in comic form with a mighty sting in the tail. Fluke has illustrated a variety of 1- and 2-page stories from different writers. They all have a slight Twilight Zone look and feel to them. They're quite easy to get through and will leave you quite affected in one way or another. He's quite slow to update and there aren't many pages, but since they're very short stories, you're not missing out on plot development. The art is all digital and drawn in grayscale, which enhances the Twilight Zone feel. The style of the writing is classic O. Henry type. Fatal Lullaby is by Fluke, at least the art, and it's rated E for everyone. And yes, you should enjoy this if you do like Twilight Zone kind of stories with that sting, that spice, that bite to the stories. And yeah, they look really good. Normally just a page, sometimes 2 pages. I think the last one is coming up to 3 pages, which is an epic in terms of Fatal Lullaby. But normally, yeah, they're quite short. So the whole page, you know, you're introduced to the subject of the story, then there's sort of the setup for it, and then it's at the end. It functions pretty much the way a comic strip does, you know, how you've got the 3-panel setup, or 4-panel. You know, you introduce a concept, and then something happens in the middle, and then there's a punchline. But this is in terms of a story comic in that format, which is quite interesting, on a page-size panel rather than a strip. So yeah, it's novel and it's great, and it's certainly got a bite to it. So I hope you enjoy Fatal Lullaby by Fluke. Ready. And that was Fatal Lullaby. Ozone Ocean reading out.
It was
one.
almost as good as last week's, but I thought you were talking. I'm so stupid. I thought we were talking about Goodwallace's song. Just go.
I was about to
That's
say
nice.
that's a lot of rushing through every stage. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Gun Wallace's music for this week was the theme to Mechanico, I think it is. Let me just check to make sure. Okay, yeah, Mechanico. So the music I would describe, it's the sound of nodes on a neural network firing, connecting, cascading with shared knowledge, multi-layered, technological, robo-future rock. And this is a comic.
Oh, another one of those?
Yeah, another one. This is a comic by Yves Kerr Ambrun, rated E, Mechanico, which is about some kind of like guy who is a robot. It's really cool. So take it away, Mr. Gummel. Mechanico. So, Pit, you were saying it wasn't quite up to your Epic of Blitzov.
No, I mean, it was good, but you should also, after you listen to this, you should definitely go to last week's Quackcast and go listen to the Epic of Blitzov.
Yeah, yes. That's a pretty rocking tune. That should be the theme song for the Quackcast from now on, basically. That should just be the... Actually, I will put that at the end of this Quackcast. I will do that.
Just put it over the song for this week and just play it again.
I'll do that. We'll have to get him to do a theme for the Hub now. Oh my God, now. Speaking of the Hub, we have the creator of the Hub with us, just coincidentally. Wow, isn't that amazing?
Hello.
Just a coincidence there. So, Hyena Hell, you are the marvelous punk rock person from New Orleans who burst onto the scene in Drunk Duck many years ago with your fantastic comic, The Hub, which was like, basically, it's like a screen print by Dura or something like that. It's just so detailed, so beautiful.
And then I burst out of the scene just as boisterously as I burst in.
Well, you gave it a good go, yeah, and then you disappeared from, as people do. People leave the scene, but you continued on Facebook, being you and posting all these amazing artworks and like photo series of this and that. And just bloody, like most people on Facebook will treat it like a, I don't know, just like a diary, like updating. Oh, I had chips today, or sharing this movie kind of thing, or sharing song of the day or something like that, or memes basically. But Hyena Hell basically treated it like a public blog, and it was really interesting. Always fascinating posts about things or artwork or something like that. That was just really intellectual, really fun to read, tragic to read sometimes, emotionally affecting. I'll go on. I don't want to talk over you completely, but you take it away.
Oh no, you're saying it better than me. I like this.
But this was really entertaining stuff and stuff that needed to be brought to a wider audience. And then Facebook tragically stole you away from us.
My life is kind of like that, isn't it? Just like, yeah, like burst onto the scene doing really cool stuff that people needed to see, and then
It reminds me of that one line from The Exorcist. I forget, the priest is like, "Show me your full power," and the devil replies, "That would be far too vulgar a display of power. You're too vulgar a display of powers." And so sometimes, like we have to be spared, like, your awesomeness a little bit.
Yeah.
No, that's no.
it has to be yanked
For what it
away
did,
so you
so.
appreciate what you once had.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, literally.
But again, like, I don't know, a phoenix or a hydra or something. Like,
Hydra.
Like chop off my
I
head.
don't know. For me, you're always the Aztec princess. Like, your art always reminds me of Aztec murals. And I like it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it.
With all the heads cutting off, sure, and the dismembered parts.
Well, that too, of course, but it's like the style. The style is so. I mean, I could tell it apart from 1,000 other ones. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool, man. I miss it.
So,
Let's sort of.
I was going to say, people who don't know Hyena Hell, like, where have you been for a start? But to describe Hyena Hell, I mean, not where have you been, but where have the people been who don't know you? That's the thing. So,
I'm not the boss of what people know and don't know.
Well, still, to introduce Hyena Hell. Okay, so Hyena Hell came to Drunk Dark, had the hub, which is this fantastic comic, was a really big, interesting part of the community. As when we had really active forums, the forums aren't so active now. So yeah, Hyena Hell was there. Used to post all sorts of stuff. So Hyena Hell is this great person, as Hyena Hell knows, living in New Orleans, being very punk rock, creating all sorts of great artworks and stuff like that. That who's who Hyena Hell is, a very creative person, basically an artist, and someone who lives the life of an artist. I don't know if can you guys
with a capital A.
Yeah,
I
capital
would-
A. Go on.
I think I would describe myself as a character.
A character.
Like somebody, they're like, he's a real character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm basically everything that I am as much as I can be all the time. Much of the time to my detriment, to others, the detriment of others.
And to others.
When I put on my business cards, a friend had a great quote, not safe for work or children. There's another one recently that came up that I wanted to put on my business cards. I don't have business cards and probably never will. But.
Yeah, theoretical.
That's what your business card should say.
It's just me walking up to somebody and punching them in the face. That's my business card.
There.
She's not joking either. She actually does this stuff. So, just so you know.
I can tell the story of Oz visiting me in New Orleans.
Tell it.
Do it. Story time.
But what had happened was he was coming to the States for Comic-Con. It was like we were chatting. It was on Facebook or wherever we were talking, and it's like, oh well, I'm going to New York. I'm going to blah blah. Going to LA. I'm like, wow, you should come stay with me for a week. And at this point, we had never, obviously met each other because we're on different continents. And he was like, yeah, that sounds great. And so it was. And it was great. And so he wanted some traditional New Orleans food, which I have no idea where to get except like at somebody's mom's house. You don't go around like, we live here. We don't go around like going out to restaurants and eating like red beans and gumbo. We go and get like cheeseburgers and Chinese food and, whatnot. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll go downtown. So we go downtown to get jambalaya or gumbo or whatever New Orleans fare that, we were, we were trying to get. And it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why we were down there that early. And so we get, I guess there's nothing else to do, like, except sit around and pet the dogs at my house. So we get down there, we have our New Orleans food, and I'm like, I'll take you down Bourbon Street. And if you're not familiar with Bourbon Street, as a legend or an actual street, it's kind of like the red light district in Amsterdam, except less classy. It's just like awful like stretch of bars selling like gross sugary high alcohol drinks in like giant plastic cups, and novelty sex shops and strip clubs and terrible karaoke bars. And if you're a tourist and you don't know you don't really want to experience like any kind of cultural thing. You just want to get like really messed up. You go to Bourbon Street, and that's where all of the people like that go, and that's where they stay. Which is great for us because we just don't go to Bourbon Street, and you mostly stay away from that element. But it was like 11 in the at this point it's still before noon. So I'm like, I'll walk. You can get the general idea of this famous strip of debauchery, and then we'll move on and do something more wholesome, or whatever. And the whole street kind of smells like stale alcohol and urine and garbage, and it's the morning. We're strolling down the street, and what had happened was we end up in a strip club, and I'm not entirely sure. It was lipsticks with 3 X's.
Yes,
and if you're going,
I remember that.
and if you're going to the strip club at 11 in the morning, like the one strip club that's opened in the morning time. And we went in and we sat down at a table. I never like to sit right up at the stage because I don't want all that attention. But you can't be the only people in the strip club at 11 o'clock in the morning and not get all the attention. And so we quickly were busked up to the stage, and where the one girl was dancing and doing a good job of it. And so that was. I'll just stop there. Well, I don't know how explicit I can get. Is this a family production or?
No.
Nah.
Yeah, well,
right.
We have Pitface and Tanserine on, and they're pretty dangerous girls, so you can say whatever you want.
All right. So anyway, we're sitting up by the stage and getting the full attention of the lady who's dancing, who kind of leans over to me and says something telling me to move closer. Then she gets on her knees, facing, away from me, does a back bend, and I was wearing a mini skirt. It was summertime. Sticks her head up my mini skirt and pretty much motorboats my junk. And then I was got a lap dance from her, and I don't know about all that. I wasn't there, but while he was doing that, I guess the stripper was trying out. She was not employed there, but it was her. I don't know, she was. What do you call it? Yeah, is it an intern or,
it's just
applying to strip?
Yeah.
So it's this she couldn't have been more than 18. So this young stripper was
dude.
struggling through her dancing and kept on asking me if she was doing all right, and it was super awkward. I'm like, well, why don't you try to do some flippy shit on the pole? She's I'm scared. I'm like, oh honey. So I gave her the rest of my money because I just felt bad, and then Oz came back, and I think we left and went and did something else. But that's those are the kind of adventures that happen.
It was awesome.
I didn't punch anybody in the face that time.
Yeah, that time it was awesome. I remember it was fucking hot. It was so hot. We went
it's really
out.
hot.
Yeah, and we were our faces were covered with water. So going into the strip club was beautiful, cold, kind of air-conditioned You know, it was like, oh my god, this is just blessed relief. And so a lot of our...
It can't possibly be hotter where I am than where you are. Can
Yeah,
it?
true.
It's more humid. So there's that, yeah. So you can't cool down because of your sweat. So here it's hot like an oven. So you'd walk outside and you get like your whole body is dried out like a roast meat or something like that.
Yeah.
But at least the sweat cools you off a little bit, you know. But there it's like you go outside and you're just covered in your own bodily fluid.
It's perma-sweat is what I call it. You know, from about April to October, you've got perma-sweat. You've just got a layer of sweat upon your body at all points in time, and that's just, you know.
Yeah.
That sounds wretched.
You're a human frog
love
or a
it.
snail. You develop your bodily mucal covering.
It's great. It's like, you know, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, like 9 degrees Celsius here right now. I'm miserable. Because in the same way, like the humidity exaggerates the heat, it also exaggerates the cold. So
Yeah.
So you're basically clicking because you're frozen on all your joints at the moment. You've got rime frost all over your whole body. Oh, that's terrible. I video chatted with Hyena Hell just before. Now we can't at the moment. It doesn't sort of work with all of us, but before, and she was wearing like 5 different scarves, gloves, and 3 coats.
Well, you couldn't see all the sweaters. There's like 3 sweaters, 2 coats, gloves, 2 pairs of socks. I only have 1 pair of pants on, though.
That's one too many.
Wah, wah, wah.
Well, you know,
Well, you didn't have any pants on when I called you. Not really. He allegedly did, but I choose to believe that he didn't. It was a waist-up shot.
I just got out of the shower. God, come on. Who among you could cast the first stone? Who among you showers with their clothes on? Come on, guys.
Never nudes.
Very few. Very few.
Oh, you Mormon bastards. Yeah, so that was my great adventure over to the magical land of New Orleans, which is like a separate country from the rest of the United States. It really is, because you can drink on the street. You don't have to worry about that. Hyena took me to all the bars. Snake and Jake's.
Every
which was
bar.
the best
Every
one.
bar in New Orleans.
Yes, every single one.
Snake and Jake's, the bar in the hub is kind of sort of based off Snake and Jake's. The entire world's kind of like a very New Orleanian world, and how people like interact and you know, just the kind of absurdities that go on. So
it's a strange place because it's we don't have these in Australia, but you do in the States. It's called a dive bar. So this is a bar that's like in almost a suburban house like kind of structure. It's very sort of punky and like a makeshift kind of looking place. It's got a very cool atmosphere about it because it's so, you know, low ceilinged and just, I don't know, grungy, but cool in a way. So, go on.
yeah, like you walk in, and at first you're kind of scared and think you might get stabbed.
Yeah.
But then it turns out all right, and you meet your best friend, and like people invite you for dinner, and it's yeah, it's kind of a weird place. Those kind of how communities here are very much built around those kind of like neighborhood bars, like just a bar stuck in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, which might not exist in all parts of the country or world. But also the sense of like kind of like Cheers, except less lame. Where it's like you really do have like a bar family. Like you have a community that revolves around drinking at this bar. And a lot of that went into the hub too, was that kind of atmosphere.
You can really
Yeah.
tell that. Yeah, there's a community of people that become more than customers and patrons. They become friends in this environment, and people really do know each other and look out for each other. But it's still slightly. Oh, go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's still slightly that dangerous kind of feel about, well, at least aesthetically or from an outsider's point of view, it sort of has that.
And I think I think it's a good metaphor for like life here in this city. It's very much just like this razor's edge between familiarity and danger, where it's, you can, it's like I said, because there's a lot of like very not so nice things going on here, and even like the friendliest of places, you don't want to you don't want to rub against people the wrong way, or it's so it's
very much. So when Hyena says that, she means like people might shoot you for doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
There's that. The consequences are sort of, as high as they can be. It's just not like someone will not like you or not speak to you.
They're prickly.
Yeah, I was about to say that, danger is like the spice on the platform. But
it's very hot
sounds
spice.
like a course.
It's a very dangerous city, but pretty much like Chicago, where you go, Pitt, in some ways.
Well, I don't go and drink in Chicago, but it's a little too far. But here, actually, Woodstock, which is a bit more of a wholesome place, we've got quite a lot of dive bars around, and which is, I mean, the town itself isn't so bad, but like the dive bars, like for the most part, are around here are safe enough to walk into and whatnot, but you still want to kind of watch yourself, because people, I mean, I think in general how these things work is, when somebody either wants to prey on someone else, the first thing you think about is, well, there's a bunch of drunk fuckers over there, so I'm going to go over there. I walked into a bar what was that, last year sometime, I think, and I sat down and was talking to this guy who had just gotten out of the hospital because, funny enough, he had come out of the very same bar that we were sitting in now, and somebody jumped him and broke his fucking face, and and they were pulling that shit on people. I'm like, oh, you're back. Oh, I kind of applaud
But
that.
they always come
man.
back. That's the thing is, I was like, oh man, I'll never go there again. Like, as soon as you get out of
that's your first
Snake and
stop.
Jake's.
Yeah.
The bar that Oz mentioned, and it was the bar that I worked at for years, and kind of for a long time was kind of my just headquarters, I guess, spiritually and physically. But there was, around the time that I moved to New Orleans, there was a shooting there. The only shooting that's ever happened inside the bar, where somebody came to rob the place and got scared while he was doing it and just shot the place up. And there are people still in there drinking when the cops got there. They just put caution tape around the drunks. And the couple that was shot, it was like a Tulane sophomore, like a college student and her boyfriend. And I think she got shot in the hand, and he got grazed, like kind of trying to cover her. They went to the hospital and then came back to the bar afterward. And by then it's like, well into the morning hours. The bar's still open. Bars here don't close. But it is that kind of thing where it's like, yeah, of course, I mean, where else are you going to go? That's my bar. You can't chase me out of my bar.
Yeah.
Very Wild West.
And
Not, it's getting less and less like that. But that's definitely like how I came of age in bars like that, and
definitely has informed your character.
Very much so. Even if I'm not drinking now, it's I'm very much a product of bar culture, and I think I always will be. I just love bars.
they're great in that, like, because we've talked about the danger a lot, which, I mean, yeah, there's always going to be a little bit of danger where you go, but there's also just that kind of not knowing what will happen, also in a good way, when you go to a bar.
Absolutely.
You just don't ever
Absolutely,
know. Yeah. That's part of the draw to it.
Some of my best friends, you meet people in bars, you invite them to your home, like, oh yeah, sure, come stay with me for a week. Just the kind of like connections and networking that I've seen in places like that happens very organically and very naturally. Friendships and love affairs and business connections. I've gotten jobs from and like hired to do art things, and most everything that's happened to me has been because I was sitting drinking in a bar at the right place at the right time. And like the sense of community, yeah, but also good bars like that do have communities tend to be self-regulating as well, where you wouldn't let an asshole like up in your house, like you wouldn't let somebody who was a predator or a rapist or a mugger, so those people get found out and get chased out, and it stays a relatively safe place as long as you're on the inside, like good graces.
Yeah, definitely.
As long as you're one of the Cheers crew.
I remember one of the most introspective times I ever had in a bar was, and I remember after this happened, because I think I had been reading your comic for a little while. I thought about you because it seemed like something that I could see happening in the hub. But I had this leather jacket I used to wear all over the place, and painted it up and everything, and I used to have all these buttons and spikes and shit on it.
I think I know exactly what jacket you're talking about.
Yeah, I've have it in a lot of pictures on Facebook and stuff like that. But I had this pin on it that said "shit happens," and I go into the bar and I get a little bit toasty, and I go into the bathroom and I take my jacket off to hang it up so I could go to the bathroom. And this button had never, ever come off that jacket at any other time that I had it on. But all of a sudden, I take my jacket off and I hear ka-tink! And I look in the toilet, and my shit happens button had floated up and sunk to the very bottom of the toilet and was sitting face up. Shit happens, man. I was so pleased with it though. Like I had to fish it out. So I was just like, oh, well. I was drunk enough. I was like, oh, I'll just wash my hands.
Shit happens.
And I made a friend because I told the girl in the next stall over what had happened. And we had to start hanging out. So
those kind of like fleeting moments of profundity, I think bars are just like perfect places for that too. Like the profound and the absurd just kind of like coexisting in bathroom stalls.
that's the perfect. That should be like the byline for your comic or something like that.
there's just like I said, like that's a lot of a lot of what it is just I guess my experience is it's weird how much, like, as time's gone on, I've realized that comics just kind of like a metaphor for my New Orleans experience. For those who aren't familiar with the comic, the main character, who introduces us to the world is from New Orleans, and he wakes up in this alternate universe. And I was working on the comic for like a couple years before I realized that was kind of like me dealing with what happened during Hurricane Katrina, where all of a sudden, like, I'm 1,000 miles away from everything I know, and it's a really weird culture shock.
Yeah.
And so I think, a lot of that comic is just, my world.
It is. It's like a dreamlike interpretation of the actual facts, but a drug dream version. It is, yeah.
Definitely.
Like the alternate reality version, you wake up and you're in a slightly different dimension, and that is, well, not like what is literally depicted in Hub, but metaphorically, that's the kind of the way.
But the silly thing about it was I didn't realize that that's what I was doing for a couple of years.
Yeah, so it's kind of uncanny when you kind of look back and realize that, huh? Like, was your subconscious operating off of that all that time?
I think so. I think because I didn't make art or I didn't do anything really artistically or creatively to process this huge traumatic thing that had happened to me. So I think that's just how it came out. And a lot of other things, like when I started working on the Hub, like there are a lot of other kind of disastrous things that compelled me to just start making this comic no matter what. I just, started doing it. Which was weird because I hadn't made comics for about 10 years when I started it. And I was like, no, this is what I have to do.
Yeah.
It's your calling.
It's wicked. You knew. And we get to look forward to it coming about again, man.
Totally.
Yeah, I think I'll start updating it again when I get the third chapter finished. So like a few more pages to go. And then, but it's fun because I know, and it's weird because it's all like all these stories are in my head and they're all like written and scripted out. They're not drawn yet. They're not like real. But I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. And wait till you guys see this and this and this. So it's
waiting to be vomited forth from your head like some Hieronymus Bosch painting.
It sure is. It sure is.
Got these little demons.
Spring out of there,
Yeah, man.
fucking Athena, man.
And it would be awesome.
Maybe I don't know if Athena would be maybe Eris.
Well, she came out of Zeus's head, though. Like, she was born in his head, and they...
Yeah, she's a bit more noble than anything I could create.
You'd be more of an Ares, man.
Yeah, I can't live up to Athena as much as I would like.
Well, if everybody was Athena, it'd be boring. We need some shit slingers around.
I think of Hyena Hell as one of the, what are they, the Maenads? The red naked ladies who live on Acropolis and attack people. Isn't that where they were?
I was related to Gorgons and Harpies.
Yeah, the Harpies.
That's more like...
Well, the Maenads were servants of Bacchus, so that's what I thought were
exactly
alluding to. Just some drunk chick in the woods dancing around.
They would also like rend,
They would be absolutely historically naked and be ready to actually, bite into people that they don't like. So
they would be vicious and have sharp nails and sharp teeth and everything. So they were
and
people's motors.
The Furies play heavily into my visual mythology imagery too.
Yeah.
What was that?
What does?
The Furies.
Oh, the Furies.
Oh,
yeah.
She's not talking about the Irish band either.
There's actually a Gorgon in the Hub.
There is,
I think. Yeah, there's a. She's one of Medusa's sisters, one of the immortal ones. But
that rings a bell. Am I
she
thinking
was a stripper in the strip club?
That's right.
Yeah,
because I remember I loved the design that you had for her.
Yeah, and she, she's a more recurring character than she's been seen yet. But that's another thing. There's a lot of characters that I can't wait for people to see that haven't even popped up yet. That are some of my favorites. So
I definitely recommend.
But she was in the Hub though. That when you were writing it before though, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I'm not. Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
She's been in there. But there are some characters that haven't popped up yet. That
I definitely recommend.
Mike, do you want to say anything or?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, do you want to talk
Spoilers
about
for
any
special
of
characters,
or
or-
no? Like any of your
No, they'll just,
excited
you know.
about, or? Okay.
I
They'll
think
just
it's
wonder.
maybe like this is. I gotta work a lot. I gotta draw more, guys. I gotta get the pages up. Can't talk about. Like I said, it's. I can talk about like, oh, you know, this story and this story and this character, but I feel like it's cheating. Like it doesn't. If it doesn't, it's not on paper, so it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I mean, I guess it is in my body of work because it's written, it's scripted, but it's not. It doesn't become real. I can't talk about it till it's on paper.
Yeah.
I gotcha. No, I can respect that.
I definitely recommend that people should read The Hub and catch up if they haven't, because it is devilishly clever. It's just so... It sneaks up on you. You think it's one thing, and then it will just reveal itself as another. So it will reward you page after page. It's one of those sort of comics. It's not going to be... it's not going to be bland, put it that way.
There's definitely a lot of you in it too, Hyena. Like I remember after reading it, and then like I don't know, like hearing you speak for the first time, or like reading something that you wrote outside of your comic, and like pinning it together, like that's your personality, and then seeing how much your personality is reflected in the comic, man. Like it's so you. It's so you.
And it's the more you know me and the more you're around me, the more you realize like which characters I probably relate to the most.
Yeah.
They're pretty much like speaking as I would speak.
It's a masterful piece of work. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reread it again. It's been a long time. It's been ages. I have to get back.
About 6 or 7 years.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to not give up.
Yeah.
I'm like Rocky over here. Like I'm past my prime. Never gonna make it big. Not really too smart. Nothing too special. But I'm not gonna give up my dream. And yeah, I just want to make it through that fight without getting knocked down.
Dude,
Yeah, man.
dude, do you remember back in the day on the site? Somebody, I can't remember who started it, but somebody had started a thread or a conversation about if you and me got in a fight, who would win, and everybody fucking said that you would kick my ass, man.
Oh,
Like,
man.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
I
Pete,
don't
but,
remember
yeah.
that. Oh,
no, I could
sorry.
agree with that. I could understand.
I think you're taller though. Like my main.
By about
I mean,
that
I'm
much.
pretty short, and I've got short arms. So I think practically about things, and that's why I don't carry like knives as weapons. So I'm like, man, my reach is garbage. You know, I don't have a good reach.
But you have enormously muscled legs, so you have. Like,
Well, that's
Yeah,
the only.
dude,
You know,
you
you
got
gotta
some
like
guns
approach it
on
like
you,
wrestling.
man. Like, holy shit, dude. Like this is going to sound creepy, and I don't mean it creepy at all. I mean it completely from an aesthetic angle, but like when you were on Facebook and like posting like your awesome like workout stuff, like, dude, your body was like I was like a little jealous almost, like, dude, I want to look that fucking up, because you had like almost the Sarah Connor thing going, man. Like, work of art. Mwah.
Oh man.
And
I
I
gotta get back
felt
to the I gotta get back to the
over
gym
here,
now.
so.
Or summertime. All these
good.
terrible traumatic injuries I've sustained are making me soft.
Yeah, your very bar that you extolling the virtues of, you have been injured in there a few times, haven't you? Like falling over or
Quite a few. But one, I think the worst one actually wasn't even my fault. It was some dude came up behind me, and it was somebody that was known to me, and I told him like before, like, don't ever fucking touch me. He's one of those. He would walk up to people and just start giving these unsolicited like massages. He was like one of those guys.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if everybody like knows those
Massage
guys,
guy.
but they're around.
yeah.
And
Well,
so it was New Year's Day,
We keep Baines away from
2010.
us,
I was
so.
standing out.
It's like, yeah, we know. Yeah, we we are out there. I mean, they are.
Well, this dude comes up behind me, and you know how you pick somebody up to like crack their back?
Yeah.
He just like did that to me on the street, like
Oh God, that is.
Oh no!
And
does he have something wrong in his head or something?
Injury that, like,
wow.
7 years later, and about $10,000 of medical bills, like, is still an issue to me.
That is bad.
And then just like, then I fell off a bar. That was alcohol related. And it has some alcohol-related bike wrecks that were alcohol-related. One of the reasons I'm not drinking right now. Figure I've got off easy so far. I don't want to. I can reduce my chances of self-injury.
Oh God! Oh, welcome to Drunk Duck. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Hey.
We'll have you drinking again in no time.
I'm just not drinking. I'm not saying I won't ever return to drinking, but
yeah,
just not drinking right now.
That's
good, man.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, even Drunk Duck is now called the Duck Web Comics. So yeah, we'll have to pick some.
Well, I mean, not by me.
No,
not by me.
Not by any of us.
Like not by.
No.
It'll always be Drunk
Duck. The so-called duck, sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just like we have the so-called President Trump, sure. You can call him that, but didn't make him that.
I still haven't said those two words together yet.
Right.
I haven't.
It helps if you call him President Mr. the Real Donald Trump. Which is what I try to do.
Twitter president.
Yeah. And actually, like, I quit drinking after like 15 years of like nonstop drinking. I went to like a Dead Milkmen show, which is one of my favorite bands, and I was like, "Oh, this is great. I feel like I can do anything. Maybe I'll quit drinking." And so I did. It was right before the presidential election, so I did all that sober.
Oh boy!
And then Leonard Cohen died, who's like one of my, surrogate fathers, and I did all that sober. And I figure, like, man, if I'm looking at the end of days, I really need an edge. Like, I got to keep my edge. Like, I can't have a monkey on my back and go into the apocalypse. So that was really the impetus of continuing sobriety. Was if the world ends, I need that advantage.
Yeah,
gotta stay sharp.
It's a good way to look at it, dude.
Oh God, yeah. It's weird times in the States right now. So good time to get back into Drunk Duck and
yeah.
There you go.
What the world needs now is Hyena hell.
That's right.
Set a fire under it. Yeah. So the whole reason that Hyena Hell is joining, like, going to do Friday news posts and stuff like that, post up comics, just do blog kind of stuff, whatever, is because Hippie Van, who has been doing our news posts for the last, 3 years? On Fridays, she has finally given up the ghost. She's sort of reached her natural, end of that. She doesn't want to be doing it anymore. She's been doing a great job for so long. She's been very inspiring.
We're going to send her on the long walk.
Yes, she's going away from the tribe now to leave us with more resources and to carry on. But yeah, she, as happens in Canada, Baines can vouch for that.
That's what we do. Yep.
But yeah, so she has been fantastic for so long. She used to do top 10, which we don't need anymore because it happens automatically now. And she did fantastic news posts, and now Hyena Hell is taking on that mantle. She is.
Don't worry, I'll let everyone down.
I expect nothing less. I expect it to be a glorious, magnificent letdown, the best ever. So, the best ever. We got the best letdowns on Drunk Duck. It's going to be huge. So, yeah, Hyena, who has been part of Drunk Duck for so long, coming back. So this isn't like someone just like being parachuted in from nowhere. This is like, a solid Drunk Duck person coming in and taking us back to the good old days. That's it. She's going to make Drunk Duck great again.
We're going to make Drunk Duck great again.
Everybody gets a hat.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's the gift that keeps on giving. That's the only good thing Trump has given us, the comedy. Nothing else.
There's been a lot of good art. Good art.
Yeah.
Troubled times make for good art.
Yeah.
Like Margaret Thatcher.
Always.
You know, there's a great political cartoonist, Matt Bors. You can find his work on thenib.com. But did that as a comic is throughout the ages, people being tortured in the Spanish Inquisition. Oh, yeah, but the art's going to get really great. Oh, yeah. Like Hiroshima's bombed. It's like, man, I got a feeling the art's going to get really good.
Well, look at the Berlin Wall was lined with art, man. Like, we got a lot out of that one.
Yeah. You've seen that. I've seen that too. Magnificent art on all over there.
It's not up anymore.
So maybe it should have come down because we destroyed all of the art,
What was that, Tanya?
But maybe then it shouldn't have come down because we destroyed all of this art. I mean, that could actually be vandalism. So
exactly.
Oh.
I wonder if this is going to work. Got this thing on my phone here. I wonder. Damn it. No, it's not working.
Great relationships.
Oh, there it is.
Great art. The
He's
greatest
gonna
art.
fucking sue us now, man.
Yeah.
We can't put up the quack ass anymore. And then he's gonna take me and Hyena away like a black man, beat the shit out of us, leave us on an island somewhere, or make us his next wives or something. Which would be worse. I'd rather
That's so small.
I'm English. I have no problems like that. I'm an alien.
Everything's
so
fine. Everything's fine.
We need to build a wall.
I'm going to hang up.
No, that's why it's for graffiti and not, on
I'm
either
gonna stop
side.
doing that. I'm going to stop doing that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's... Man, it was funny a year ago before it was real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back when none of us actually thought that we would be facing this reality right now.
Yes.
He's
I actually got a tattoo because of it.
You got a tattoo because of it? Is that what you said?
Well, yeah, at the beginning of this election cycle, I actually got matching, companion tattoos, I guess. And one was a shark. It's like this big shark head coming out of the water, and it says "never safe." And the other one is a heart with a dagger through it that just has the void in it. I'm just embracing insecurity and absurdity and the meaninglessness of what we're going into.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got a head start.
Oh, awesome. We'll have to see.
Ahead of the curve.
I remember the idiot one, which is really cool. So, excellent.
How many do you got?
I think I have 7.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I'll have to have a show and tell of tattoos. I have none.
I didn't start getting... The idiot one was the first one I got, and I didn't start getting that. I think I got that one when I was 27. Okay. And then I've got a matching tattoo with my cousin. That's allegedly our family motto in Latin. And I think it translates to something like, "I will not return unrevenged."
Oh, cool.
Which, if you know me and my cousin, she's a lot like me. And it's something that we would yell storming out of a bar, after some perceived indignity, "I will not return unrevenged." And it just seemed like, if that's our family motto, man, that explains a lot. So we got those matching tattoos.
It's kind of cool.
It's wicked.
And then I've got a noose that says "Not Today," which is my suicide pact tattoo. Where it's like I made a deal with myself, kind of like AA, where it's like, all right, just not today. Like you can kill yourself tomorrow, but not today.
Wow.
And it's worked so far.
That's pretty smart, dude.
Yeah.
I got a big fucking bat head on my leg because the place that I work at, like I guess our mascot is a bat.
Oh,
And
heads off.
I never think very much about any tattoos. So.
Yeah,
I
sometimes
feel like I'm missing one. Oh, I got a Leonard Cohen tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Sweet, dude.
Awesome. Even Tanserine, you have a tattoo on your ankle, don't you? At least I think it's the scales.
On my how do you call that? On my leg, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, on your calf.
Yes, good catch there. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, you want me to say what it shows? Sorry, I completely spaced out. It's like this. It's like this symbol, and it's a sword, and its guard is a scales, and the hilt has a wreath on it because
yeah,
it's
the
basically
sword and the scales. That's right. Yeah, and the wreath.
Cool.
It's pretty epic.
It's basically my creed in life, more or less. So yeah, it's like a
Nice.
justice and having to back it up and yeah, basically that's more or less it.
That's all you need, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bones.
I really want to get
I
another
could
one.
never think of anything good, personally. I have a tramp stamp. That's it.
Design it design it yet. So
Yeah. Sorry, Tent.
What were you saying,
no.
Tanch? No, we didn't hear what you were saying.
I was saying that I want to get another one, but I have to design it because somehow I want to have designed the things that are on my body.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I don't. I'm not yet ready to sit down and draw it. Like it's in my head, but it's not there yet. If you know what.
Yeah,
I mean.
yeah.
So,
I think it's interesting how visual artists approach getting tattoos like on their own selves. Like I don't like to have my own work on my body.
Oh wow.
So the only one I do have is the bat, and the guy was supposed to redraw it and then just didn't. And I had already scheduled. I was like, ah. And actually, I had like gotten no sleep. I'd like passed out from drinking all night, and like my friend had to come over and get me for our tattoo appointment. And had I been like fresh, I would have been like, man, you were supposed to redraw this. Let's reschedule. But I was just like, let's do it. But I don't regret that. I like it.
Yeah.
And it's not in a place where I look at it all the time. So.
Well, that's strange. You don't like your
I
own
think
work.
no, please go.
No, you can't. I just said, I was just commenting that Hyena doesn't like her own work, and you were saying?
No, I would say that in my case, I don't think it's an issue of the art. It's like I'm a control freak, and so I don't like other people, doing permanent stuff on my body.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
I waited.
I am very much. Sorry, please go.
I had to meet an artist who I liked her drawing work and her tattoo work and her as a person. Like I pretty much had to make friends with a tattoo artist to start getting their original work on me. I waited a very long time to get any original imagery on me because I didn't trust anybody. So I had to meet the right artist, and she's done.
That I can get
on me.
definitely.
But it's like, I mean, that's like for life, but so that's like
Yeah,
It's almost more important than dating. You can't break up with them too.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, you got to really be sure this person that you're going to is like good. That's. But I also don't think very much about my tattoos. But they're.
It's almost like a soulmate thing, isn't it? Like relating it back to that. Like you don't think about your soulmate. You
Sure,
just
right.
kind of know. Like it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, well, this works, and you just know it works.
Oh, it's like I guess I like tattoos.
What was that? You're breaking up.
We lost you a little bit.
Like me, they're all kind of cartoony and have. Oh, I think I'm one around. I'm too far from my internet source. All right, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like to grow into the meaning of tattoo instead of stressing over I need to get something super meaningful to me. It's got to be meaningful. It's got just get something that's kind of silly and absurd, and then that way the meaning is flexible and you can grow into it and it can change as you change.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, I kind of have weird ideas about a lot of things.
Makes sense, though.
Which is the benefit of having you doing a news post. Now, next Friday will be Hyena's debut, and with her weird ideas
I have
about
no idea
things. Hey?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to tell you all about it.
It'll be a surprise, so it'll be cool. And because she has weird ideas about things, that is what we want. This is cool. So at the moment, with the whole news posting kind of thing, we have on Mondays, Quite a Gakse. She does her great, thoughtful, introspective news posts. Then we have, of course, the Quackcast, which nobody bloody reads. And it's in the featured comics, and Baines has his very interesting news posts about the whole writing techniques and pop culture and characters.
Almost tapped out. I got to start repeating.
That's fine because no one remembers 3 years.
Okay,
ago,
good,
so
perfect. Yeah.
you can go back and recycle. And then we used to have hippie bands, interesting takes on writing. Now we'll have a whole new thing. Oh, and on Saturdays we have.
Could I be the wild card?
What's that?
Wild
The
card.
wild card. Exactly, you are the wild card. And on Saturdays we have Tansarin doing news posts about characters and boring fight scenes, which we'll definitely talk about in next week's Quackcast. It's going to be about boring fight scenes, which isn't going to be
Winning
boring.
roster.
It's going to be
That's
fun
cool.
because there's nothing more fun than people bitching about things they don't like.
Oh, that's my number one hobby.
Bread and butter, baby.
Exactly.
If we make careers out of that, teaching.
Exactly. I love doing that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do next week. So thank you so much for being on this week's Quackcast and for agreeing to be doing news on Fridays. Thank you for that, Hyena Hell.
Thank you for having me. And like I said, I look forward to letting everyone down.
We look forward to it too. All right. This has been Quackcast number 308. I've been Ozone Ocean, and you guys have all been brilliant. All right.
Yay!
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.